Marcus Freeman said on Monday this was going to have to be a bloody football game, Notre Dame versus USC, and perhaps the last time that we see this rivalry for a while. And it was rainy for sure, but when you really get down to it and look at the numbers, it was bloody, and Notre Dame came out on the better side of that for sure in a 34-24 victory over their rival, the Trojans. Jack, like I'm saying, if you look at the trenches, that's where rivalry games are won and lost, and Notre Dame outplayed USC in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
One of the most impressive games I've seen a team play in the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball in my lifetime. That was incredible from the offensive and defensive line. Notre Dame outrushed USC 306-68, and it is really hard to win a game when you're on the 68 side. That was awesome from the offensive line. Joe Otting, we have to shout him out at the top of this video, because he, in his first career start, his first meaningful snaps, meaning like outside of when the game's already been decided, first meaningful snaps were last week against NC State. This was his first start. He crushed it. The whole offensive line crushed it. The defensive line, linebackers, even the safeties. Adon Schuler was super involved in the run game. He had that forced fumble on Mekhi Lemon that helped decide the game. Just domination up front. Jeremiah Love, the most rushing yards a Notre Dame player has ever rushed for in this stadium, which has been open for dang near a century at this point.
The house that Rockne built.
The house that Rockne built. Jeremiah Love just did something no one else has ever done. He had 265 yards when you include 37 through the air. Jadarian Price, the kickoff return for a touchdown. Just out-muscling USC tonight.
Yeah, and it came down to the grittiness, the toughness, and that's the way Notre Dame has won in this rivalry a lot. And USC came in here thinking maybe it had a little bit to give in those areas, but Notre Dame just had more to give. And like you said, you're missing Ashton Craig, who loves to play physically, loves to dominate up front. And a big thing in this game for me and going into the bye week now was, okay, how did Joe Otting play? Is Notre Dame going to have an issue there, a competition there to see maybe who should play center the last 5 games of the season? It should be Joe Otting. Yeah. He answered that question pretty definitively tonight. And then on the other side of the ball, Notre Dame answered the can we stop the run question pretty well as well.
No Gabriel Rubio.
Without Gabriel Rubio. And you saw pretty much a mix of 4 defensive tackles there, and you never really thought, oh, they're outmuscled, they're outmatched here. I get it. USC was playing without its top 2 running backs, and that probably played a factor. But USC's been able to plug in guys at that position and get production. And like you said, Adon Schuler coming downhill, the linebackers playing assignment sound, the defensive tackles up front. And then there were points in this game where Jaden Mayava looked very comfortable and he was dropping dimes, but at other times, Notre Dame sped him up a little bit. And that side of the ball, Jack, like we've said in these videos time and again, it's just coming together, and it's feeling like Notre Dame is playing well there. And, yeah, when you hold one of the best offenses in the country, if not the best offense, yards per play-wise, it was. And, I still think USC moved the ball a little bit, but, Jack, I think Notre Dame absolutely did what it had to do defensively to win this game.
Well, Freeman said there were 2 big keys for Notre Dame defensively. Number 1 was make them one-dimensional. And this has been the case for Lincoln Riley's teams for a while. Like, yes, his offense are more known for quarterback play, but if you can make them one-dimensional, you can beat them. And they certainly did that tonight. It was really all hands on deck. They occasionally put an extra safety in the box. Adon Schuler was fantastic. Again, shout him out again. This was an excellent game for number 8. We saw Tay Johnson with a big run stop, racing over to stop King Miller before he got the corner near the goal line. Yeah. Just an all hands on deck for effort against the run, I think, is the best way you can put that.
And against the pass, Leonard Moore is that guy. I don't know Lemon's final stats.
So that was the key to the second. That was the second key was don't let Lemon beat you, and that they knew that he could. This was the most productive receiver in the Power 4 entering this week, and I don't remember what his final stats were, but I think he only had like two or three catches. Moore was outstanding. They put him in the slot where he has rarely played most of the game, and he was fantastic. And then on the other side at cornerback, Christian Gray, man. Freeman called it deja vu. Freeman said there was a lot of deja vu in
a higher power.
Yeah, Freeman said there was a lot of deja vu in this game from last year. Christian Gray, we'll get into that in a sec. 2 years ago, Jadarian Price against this team in this building. I believe the exact same amount of yards, 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. It's just sometimes you got to throw your hands up and say some things are meant to be. But Christian Gray, roasted for a 59-yard touchdown. Jacoby Lane, much like last year, they went after him the entire game. When you had, obviously you had more on Lemon, but Jacoby Lane is a heck of a receiver too. To Nook Hines, who recruiting fans might be familiar with from Notre Dame's pursuit of him last year. He had a nice game as well. But Lane beat him for a 59-yard touchdown. Freeman said he had some words for Christian Gray on the sideline, like, hey, no one's feeling sorry for you, man. Yeah. You got to go back out there and play. And Christian Gray has the interception on the very next series and goes back out of the sideline and has some words for Freeman as well. And Marcus says, you know what? Kind of like that.
Yeah.
And you know what? You just got to smile because Christian Gray, I mean, say what you will about the kid. He has a knack for bouncing back and making these plays in the biggest moments.
And the give and take, the back and forth between Freeman and Gray is an embodiment of Gray's game. There's some give and take to Gray's game. We all know that. We've seen it for the better part of the last 2 seasons where, yeah, he's susceptible to getting beat. And Jacoby Lane ran by him a couple times tonight, and it wasn't pretty. But that interception was pretty, and it absolutely changed the game, just like it did last year when he took it back to the house at the LA Coliseum. So Notre Dame's never going to be in a position, especially with how young the backups are at corner, where they're going to be like, oh, we need to play somebody else on the outside. It's going to be Christian Gray. But speaking of playing on the outside and being young, Dallas Golden deserves some props because he was put in some tough positions tonight because Leonard Moore's playing the slot and kind of shadowing Mekhi Lemon. And he had a couple, I don't know if I'd go as far to call them pass breakups, but he was in the right spot at the right time, and the ball was incomplete because he was right there and was really the inhibiting factor in a completed pass, which a couple times there I'm like, oh gosh, there's Dallas Golden in coverage, and what are we going to see here? Incomplete pass. Those were some big plays. And Jack, like all over, you're seeing those plays where Purdue, Texas A&M, Miami, you were like, oh man, like, Notre Dame's beat here and beat bad, and points are going to be on the board. You hold USC to 24 because of those plays, and yeah, I think we would both say that Notre Dame was always going to win if USC only scored 24 points.
Just a gutsy performance by the defense, man, against one of the best offenses in the country, one of the best rush offenses in the country, certainly in terms of yards per carry.
It's back-to-back weeks now of smothering. Hollywood Smothers won, but really good run games, like you said.
We said last week that, like, all right, we think the defense is back, but we got to see against USC the defense is back. That was just, like I said, a gutsy performance from that group. They got beat early. The USC ran threw some tempo at them. Yeah. They weren't ready a couple times. They weren't set. They drive right down, lightning quick touchdown, and you're like, you know what? We're fine. Just got to adjust. And credit to Chris Ash, man, because they adjusted. That was a huge turnaround the defense had in this game. At a certain point, like USC, aside from the long lane touchdown, like when USC moved the ball was mostly due to the penalties, which like some valid, some questionable, a couple I thought weren't penalties at all. But regardless, like they weren't really moving the ball much in the second half.
Maybe like a 10 to 15 yard catch here and there, but it's not like, oh my gosh, this guy's running wide open. Again, Christian Gray had some of those plays, and everyone is going to flood the comments with that. But overall, Notre Dame played a sound game. Now, on the other side of the ball, there's still some issues, and that's crazy that we keep saying that because Notre Dame, again, scores 34 points, aided by Jadarian Price in the special teams, but left some points out there. Noah Burnett misses 2 kicks, a field goal, and an extra point. The field goal wasn't even that long, 30-something yards, 34 maybe.
It was not one that he should have missed.
He should not have missed that. He should never miss an extra point. I still have to go back and watch that. I don't know what the heck happened there, but I also don't know what the heck is happening with Notre Dame in some of these short yardage situations. There was a package that Mike Denbrock was married to again tonight, and no, it was not the Wildcat. It was a bigger personnel, bring in Cooper Flanagan. Matt Jeffrey actually comes in as a blocker, really, because most of the time that they were in this personnel package, they ran the football. But then on, was it 3rd down or 4th down? I think they would have still had the opportunity to kick a field goal on 4th down. I'm talking about the C.J. Carr interception.
That was 3rd down.
It was 3rd down. So they leave points, at least 3 out there. And if you would have scored a touchdown another way, you leave 7 out there. Jack, do you want to take me through this play? Because it brings up a larger point with Carr that we've been saying a bad game from Carr is out there. And he rebounded and made some winning plays, as Marcus Freeman said. But this might have been his worst game of the year. That play was, again, I'll use the word embodiment of that. But Notre Dame still wins that game by 10 points with C.J. Carr playing his C game, D game. Like, it was something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. I wouldn't say might have played his worst game of the year. Yeah, the interception, it's like the first read doesn't work, fine. Look back to the middle, not there, fine, throw it away. There were like 4 separate points during that play where I like, all right, throw it away. Yeah. All right, now throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it away. You got it. This is something we've also seen from Carr, even when he's been successful. Like, teams haven't hurt him doing this yet this season, but like he always throws it away a beat after you think he should. Either that or he just doesn't throw it away at all and throws it into harm's way. He's just got to learn when to cut his losses and throw the ball away. That's all that interception is. Inexcusable decision. I'm sure he got an earful from Mike Denbrock, Gino Guidugli, Marcus Freeman on the sideline. But you're right that like
we got to finish. They got to figure this stuff out. It shouldn't get to that maybe type thing. Like Notre Dame had 1st and goal from the 4 or 5, and it came down to 3rd and goal from wherever they were at, and it was what we saw was C.J. Carr doing whatever the heck he was doing. It's a mess right now down there.
Right, and like you said, we knew not knew, but like we suspected a game like this from Carr was coming, and you had to be ready to deal with it if you were Notre Dame, and they dealt with it with the run game and the defense about as well as they possibly could. Late in the game, when Notre Dame's running it out to ice it, did they pass it on the at like once on the drive when they ran down to score up to go up double digits in this?
A lot of Jeremiah Love on that drive.
There's a lot of Jeremiah Love, C.J. Carr with Jeremiah Love throwing a block to finish it off. I mean,
yeah, C.J. Carr touchdown.
At the end of the game, that was as pure as you can get of like we're running the ball and there is nothing you could do to stop it. And they were rattling off like 6 yards of pop doing that when everyone in the building knew they were running the ball. And it's a credit to Jeremiah Love. It's a credit to the offensive line. In addition to Otting stepping up, I thought Billy Schrauth played one heck of a game.
And we hope he's okay.
Yeah, and he certainly appears to be okay because after we thought that he suffered a knee injury that we did not know if he would come back from this game or this season, he was back into the next series, so that was obviously really good to see. And we obviously hope he's okay, Tyler, because he suffered 2 knee injuries. He came back from the first one, looked scary, but he came back, again, played some really good football. He was fantastic tonight. Then he suffered the 2nd knee injury, and we're not really sure what the extent of that is.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he aggravated the same thing that he went out with the first time. But Marcus Freeman did say that Billy Schrauth led the alma mater at the end of the game, was kind of at the forefront of that. So, but I kind of put it on social media. Ashton Craig walked off fine, and you never know with these knee injuries. So that's why you have to put the hope out there that he is okay because he's a difference maker. And so is Ashton Craig, but Joe Otting comes in, makes a difference. So I guess we'll wrap up this video the same way that we started it in saying Notre Dame's kind of rolling right now. All cylinders. Like you bring in a new center and the operation looks fine there. Again, still some things to clean up offensively, but when you can withstand your quarterback's worst game of the year and run for 300 yards, you're probably going to win that football game. The way you played defensively, you're probably going to win that football game. And I guess one last note here, you're going into a bye week, but you got 5 games in November that you're probably going to win, be favored in all of those. Of course, it's going to take good efforts from Notre Dame, but Marcus Freeman's kind of mastered that. He's figured out, like, hey, one game at a time. And, Jack, I guess I'll leave you with this and get your thoughts on it. I don't want to say the finish line is in sight, but the path is in sight. You see it now. It's literally down to 1 month of the season, and you just have to keep doing what you've been doing because it's worked for 5 games. It's got to work for 5 more.
You had to get past USC. This was are you serious about this game? And they're serious about this because this was a really good team win. I thought this was a heck of a win by Notre Dame. This, again, gutsy, full team effort, dominate the line of scrimmage. This was pure football in pure football weather, man. Love to get a rain game in every now and then. No delays whatsoever. Thank the higher power. Yep. Thank the higher power that we're getting out of here probably about midnight. Really, really fun football game. Really good team win for Notre Dame.
Yeah, anytime you beat your rival by double digits, you cover the spread. Good teams win, great teams cover. For anyone that was interested in that. We are interested in a bye week, but we'll have plenty of content here at this YouTube channel in the midst of that. And then obviously coming out of that, Notre Dame's in the stretch run of the season. We'll see if they can make that college football playoff push because so far so good on that front. So that's Jack Sobel. I'm Tyler Horka with blueandgold.com and Blue and Gold Illustrated.